feel-good stories of white heroes and do-gooders uphold white supremacy and undermine the mental well-being of youth of color. To be frank, I'm tired of seeing children, all children, opening up a textbook and reading about Black people as slaves and Native Americans as savages. I'm even more appalled and angry when teachers do not see anything wrong with these representations. What Bree Picower has done in this book is masterfully assemble the stories and the omnipresence of the curriculum so white hashtag. Reading, Writing, and Racism tells the truth about America's racism and its disdain for people of color through the lens of curriculum. But this book is more than just stories of whiteness in education. It also provides a roadmap to justice, specifically to humanizing racial justice in teacher education. What Picower does, so beautifully and with such grace, is to outline how we strategize in communities to disrupt, agitate, and eliminate whiteness within the curriculum and teacher education. This is no small task, and no book can address every issue. But Reading, Writing, and Racism comes close. Use this book as your guide, as your compass toward transforming not only teacher education, but the lives of students of color to see themselves in powerful ways that restore love, justice, and humanity. Bettina L. Love, Atlanta, Georgia. Introduction. Hashtag curriculum so white. How easy, then, by emphasis and omission, to make children believe that every great soul the world ever saw was a white man's soul, that every great thought the world ever knew was a white man's thought, that every great deed the world ever did was a white man's deed, that every great dream the world ever sang was a white man's dream. W.E.B. Du Bois, 1920. There's hashtag Oscar so white, and then there's hashtag curriculum so white. How curriculum in U.S. public schools remains centered on white middle-class norms. Django Paris, at Django_Paris, 2016. How many slaves would be needed to equal at least 4 white people? This was a homework question posed to middle school students in Kannapolis in 2019, following a lesson on the 3/5 compromise. In 2018, an 8th grade teacher at a Texas charter school asked her students to list positive and negative aspects of slavery as part of a unit called The Lives of Slaves, a Balanced View. Not to be outdone, a white public school teacher in the Bronx singled out her middle school Black students during a social studies lesson and had them lie on the classroom floor. She then put her foot on one child's back and announced, "See how it feels to be a slave?" These are just 3 examples of racist curriculum that have gone viral on social media. While these were the acts of individual educators, the problem is a systemic one, as widely used textbooks actively remove historical racism from the curriculum. For example, a McGraw-Hill textbook referred to enslaved Africans as migrant workers, and Texas-approved textbooks removed Jim Crow, the Ku Klux Klan, and the role of slavery in the Civil War from its pages. While some would see these examples as simply the result of bad apple teachers or outdated textbooks, in Reading, Writing, and Racism, I analyze such examples through a framework to understand how they are situated in historical racism and work to maintain current racial hierarchies. Popular culture may refer to reading, writing, and arithmetic as the 3 R's of education, but this book argues that racism is as inherent and basic to schooling as the 3 R's. Viral racist curriculum. Countless scholars, such as Carter G. Woodson, Gloria Ladson Billings, James Loewen, Eve Tuck, and Ruben Gastambide Fernandez, Dolores Calderon, and Prentice T. Chandler, Anthony Brown, and Kefferlin Brown, and LeGarrette King, have engaged through critiques of how racism and Eurocentrism have manifested themselves in a wide range of curricular resources. This book follows that tradition, focusing specifically on examples of racist curriculum that have gone viral over social media in the last decade, represented by the hashtag #CurriculumSoWhite. This hashtag started in 2015 as a riff off of the OscarsSoWhite hashtag, created by diversity and inclusion specialist April Rain, which called attention to the lack of nominees of color at the Academy Awards. Taken up by race and education scholars.